We begin with a question on the procedure for a money bill amended by the Rajya Sabha. If a money bill is substantially amended by the Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendations of the Rajya Sabha. The correct answer is A. Let's compare ordinary bills and money bills. Money bills, under Article 110, deal with government money matters like taxes and spending. They can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha and require the President's recommendation. The Rajya Sabha has limited power on money bills. Next, we examine financial bills under Article 117. Financial Bill 1 is like a money bill with extra provisions, requires presidential recommendation, and can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. Financial Bill 2 deals primarily with government spending and is treated as an ordinary bill after introduction, but also requires the President's recommendation. Constitutional amendment bills, under Article 368, allow Parliament to modify the Constitution, subject to the basic structure constraint. They can be introduced in either house and do not require the President's recommendation. They must be passed by a special majority, and there is no provision for a joint sitting. Let's review why other options were incorrect for the money bill procedure. Options B and C are wrong, because the Lok Sabha has the final decision power. Option D is incorrect because a joint sitting does not apply to money bills, as the Rajya Sabha cannot cause a deadlock. Moving on to Parliament structure, the Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution. This is the correct answer to the question. The Parliament consists of the President and the two houses, the Lok Sabha, or House of the People, and the Rajya Sabha, or Council of States. The Lok Sabha, the lower house, represents the people directly and has a 5-year term subject to dissolution. Its special powers include exclusive introduction of money bills and holding the Council of Ministers accountable through a no-confidence motion. The Rajya Sabha, the upper house, represents states and UTs, with members indirectly elected for 6-year terms. It is a permanent body. Its special powers include authorizing Parliament to make laws on the state list under Article 249 and creating All India Services under Article 312. For a quick comparison, the Lok Sabha is the voice of the people, directly elected, with a 5-year term, and controls money bills. The Rajya Sabha is the voice of the states, indirectly elected, a permanent body, and holds special powers under Articles 249 and 312. Let's look at more practice questions. A money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. The correct answer is B. Regarding the power to issue ordinances under Article 123, the correct answer is B, the President of India. An ordinance is a temporary law issued by the executive branch, acting as a stopgap measure when the legislature is in recess. It can only be issued when Parliament is not in session and must be approved due to urgency. It has the same legal force as an act of Parliament. The life of an ordinance is critical. It must be placed before Parliament once it meets and expires 6 weeks after reassembly unless approved. The maximum duration is 6 months plus 6 weeks. Key articles are 123 for the President and 213 for state governors. The next question concerns the grounds for disqualification under the anti-defection law. Disqualification for a member of Parliament will not apply in case of a split in the original political party to which he is elected. The correct answer is A. The anti-defection law, enacted in 1985, prevents elected members from switching parties for personal gain. Grounds for disqualification include voluntary resignation, voting against the party whip, and independent members joining a political party. Nominated members must not join a party after 6 months of taking their seat. The key exception to the anti-defection law is a merger, allowed if at least 2/3 of legislators agree. The split provision was repealed by the 91st Amendment Act of 2003, meaning smaller splits are now treated as defection. Only 2/3 mergers are valid today. This question asks, which provisions can be modified by Parliament using a simple majority? The correct provisions are the alteration of state boundaries, abolition of the state's second chamber, and administration of scheduled areas. The correct answer is 1, 3, and 4. Matters requiring a simple majority include altering names, boundaries, and areas of states under Article 3, abolishing or creating a legislative council under Article 169, and amending provisions related to scheduled and tribal areas under the 5th and 6th schedules. Appointment of additional judges is an administrative process, not a simple majority amendment. The next question asks, which of the following is not a discretionary power of the President? Summoning and dissolving Parliament sessions is not a discretionary power, as the President acts on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Therefore, the correct answer is D. The veto power in India, under Article 111, is the authority of the President to withhold assent to a bill, preventing it from becoming law. The absolute veto is the President's complete rejection of a bill, causing it to die immediately. Examples include the PEPSU Appropriation Bill and the MP Salaries Bill. The suspensive veto involves returning a bill for Parliament's reconsideration. If Parliament passes it again with a simple majority, the President must give assent. The pocket veto means the President takes no action, keeping the bill pending indefinitely. Unlike the US, the Indian President has no time limit. For money bills, the President cannot use a suspensive veto. For constitutional amendment bills, the 24th Amendment of 1971 made it mandatory for the President to give assent, removing veto power. When a governor reserves a state bill for the President is not bound to sign it even after repassage. Question 9 asks which two bills are presented to Parliament, along with the budget. The correct set is the Finance Bill and the Appropriation Bill. The correct answer is C. The Finance Bill and the Appropriation Bill are the two primary legislative documents presented with the Union budget. The Appropriation Bill authorizes the government to withdraw funds from the Consolidated Fund of India and cannot be amended in Parliament. The Finance Bill contains the government's tax proposals for the coming financial year, covering new taxes or changes to existing tax structures. The other options are incorrect because tax proposals are consolidated into one finance bill and the contingency bill is not part of the annual budget. In case of a dispute between the two houses of the Indian Parliament over an ordinary bill, the matter is referred to a joint sitting of both houses. The correct answer is C. Under Article 108, the President can summon a joint sitting to resolve a deadlock on an ordinary bill. A deadlock occurs if one house rejects the bill, the houses disagree on amendments, or more than 6 months pass without the bill being passed. Key facts about joint sittings. The President summons them, and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides. Decisions are resolved by a simple majority of members present and voting. Joint sittings are not permitted for money bills or constitutional amendment bills. Question 11 asks, who represents the Government of India when presenting the budget? The correct answer is B, the Finance Minister, who delivers the budget speech in the Lok Sabha. The Union Budget, or Annual Financial Statement, is the yearly financial plan of income and spending. While the President is formally responsible under Article 112, the Finance Minister is the actual presenter in the Lok Sabha. The final question asks the time limit for the President to return a state bill reserved by the Governor. There is no time limit specified in the Constitution, which means the President can exercise a form of pocket veto. The correct answer is D. An ordinary bill passes through 5 stages in Parliament. It begins with introduction in the first reading, followed by detailed discussion and amendments in the second reading. Then comes the third reading for final approval or rejection. After that, the bill goes to the second house for the same process. Finally, it becomes law after presidential assent. We are now moving on to the 3 organs of government in India. The legislature makes laws, which includes parliament and state assemblies. The executive implements laws, comprising the president, prime minister, ministers, and officials. The judiciary interprets laws, carried out by the courts. India follows the principle of separation of powers, but it is not rigid. Instead, a system of checks and balances is in place to ensure mutual oversight among the organs. This prevents the concentration of power in any single branch. Next, we differentiate between MPs and ministers. Ministers are usually chosen from members of Parliament and are part of the executive. They manage key departments like health, education, and defense. A non-MP can become a minister but must join Parliament within 6 months. Their main role is to implement laws and remain accountable to Parliament. The government has 3 organs. Legislature makes laws, executive implements them, and judiciary interprets them. Checks and balances prevent concentration of power through mutual control. Ministers are MPs with executive responsibilities and remain accountable to the Lok Sabha.